There we go. I don't know if you hear that on your end when it says that. So
Yeah, you get a recording in progress, and then you get a choice of to either continue or leave meeting.
yeah. So yeah, I really I wanted to like a large portion of my audience is jazz me. But I really wanted to start talking more about Bencoin. And I
Yeah,
thought, who better to talk about Bencoin with than you?
got that
Um,
right.
yeah. Um, so I watch a lot of your stuff. So I like to get for my audience, I like to get a little bit of your background first. Like tell me about yourself a little bit and how you're involved with Bencoin and stuff like that.
So a great story actually, and a good question. I got into crypto in the beginning of 2021. I was catching the end of Doge, the end of SHIB, but I really wasn't interested in those. I just got kind of flagged out of the IRL from there. And I saw like this. I said, the one thing that I'm gonna probably look for is something that strikes my eye. If I'm just gonna throw $100 at something just to see what happens, and I'll just pick something that I like. What do I like? And I was reading about just a random token that said that it was going to merge with another token, and it was called New Cipher. And they were to merge with another token, and they were going to be called Keanu. And I thought, Keanu, right on, bro. That means the breeze. And I thought, Keanu Reeves was a popular actor. I thought, probably a good idea. It seems pretty legit. So I'm going to go with that. And then I went to Twitter, and I'd been on Twitter for probably, I probably had a Twitter account for 10 years, never used it. And then I look up Keanu, and I don't just see Keanu Reeves. And then as I'm kind of doing, the rudimentary research, I see put a dollar sign in front of it, then you get the financial sector. So I put a dollar sign in front of it, and someone had just launched a Keanu token an hour before. So I was like, oh shit. Then I figured out how to, I put, $200 in it. And long story short, for that, it didn't go very well after about 6 months. We got a cease and desist from Keanu Reeves. The guy that we had hired because he knew Keanu Reeves' manager or something, or at least he was a shirt maker, guy that makes t-shirts and stuff, said he could get us in with Keanu Reeves. The Keanu Reeves was not crypto savvy, but he was curious. And, so this guy, instead of going in and representing us, goes in and does this jive talking. So you guys want to do some t-shirts and stuff? And he was trying to sell his own t-shirts, and he was using this relationship to kind of get in the door. So they ended up sending a cease and desist, called us a scam. So that was the end of that. So I cashed out, and I'd made like $1,500. So I wasn't mad, but in 6 months, $200 turned into 1,500. You say, well, yeah, that's awesome. However, look at the bull run that was happening at that point. I was an idiot because I didn't have any perspective. So then I said, you know what? When it happened, it all dipped down, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this dip, right? Because I sold at the local top, and then I bought the dip because even though it was wrecking, I knew people were going to buy it. At that point, I knew people were just going to buy it because they saw the dip. So I got in again when the price collapsed, and then doubled my money, had 3 grand. And then the next thing I know, I turned that 3 grand into like $1,000 a day trading Saitama for a
Oh yeah.
while. And I was not interested in whether Saitama was going to do I'd been doing a crypto show. In the meantime, I started doing YouTube stuff, and Keanu was not a big enough audience. So in order for me to expand, I started covering Saitama, Kishu, um, Hokkaido, Starlink, which is having a big run today, by the way. Um, and just a couple other tokens randomly here and there. Sandshoe, I think, was one of them. And I just kind of picked meme coins out of the space, and I would just do a show. And pretty soon, people started to pay attention. I got monetized on YouTube. Then uh, the market crashed, and we didn't see it at first because all of us who were new, we didn't have the wisdom and the knowledge to know what was going on. We just thought, all we got to do is find that one token, and it's going to 1,000x, and we're all going to retire. So flash forward a little bit, and you become more savvy. You meet people. I meet people along the way, good people, bad people, indifferent people. I do promos, projects, et cetera, et cetera. I got hooked up with Volt early on. I put like $150 into Volt, and You know, I think my Volt bag right now is only worth like 3,000, but I put $150 in Volt at the beginning, and here it sits, you know, ready for the bull run where, you know, I think it'll have a nice run, and, you know, a couple other tokens along the way. And then that led me to a couple months ago. And a couple months ago, Ben started having this conversation about he had never invested or he had never promoted. He got sued by somebody, so they never promoted FTX. And I was like,
I remember
that's
that.
not true. I saw that. I saw you do it. And then, you know, what it was he had never been paid to promote FTX. He was just like me, just engagement farming, trying to, you know, like these are the tokens that I think are good tokens. So I'm going to give them to you. You do what you want with them. And one of them was FTT. And I knew that it existed. So, you know, I made that video of it. And then for whatever reason, it got on his radar. And then he and I started talking. And I was talking to Ben.eth at the time as well. And I was like, you know, if BitBoy Crypto is getting into this token that's launching, Ben, I should probably make amends here and figure out the best path forward. So I reached out to I reached out to Ben and I said, hey man, uh, first I reached out to Ben Eth and I said, hey man, is it okay if I do a video? Because I don't like to do just a video without contacting somebody.
Yeah.
And I asked if I could do a video. He was like, yeah, but you need to talk to Ben Armstrong because I'm selling it to him. And then I was like, oh, that's God damn it. I can't believe I just did that because I just made this video and you know he was upset because he knew that it was a bad video. But what he didn't realize was at the end of the video I had him in a Superman cape saying, you know, whether you like him or not, whether he did this or not, he's the hero that cryptocurrency needs. So then he watched the video and he was like, okay, we're cool now again. So then over the course of time he invited me on around the blockchain, and you know I got a foot in the door, so to speak. Meanwhile the market continues to crash around us, and Ben starts to pump super high and starts to have a little bit of run because of what he had going on. And then you know like any token, it starts to correct, and then we become, you know, we talk more and more and more and more. Now, you know, at this point now, he and I are having regular communications, but things are not going well at his office. And I can't speak too much about that because I know way too much about what was going on at that office. But suffice to say that, you know, we talked a lot, and um, I was kind of a sounding board for things that he needed to get off his chest a little bit, and
I
maybe
was,
one of those
by the way.
lone voices of reason in this insanity that was going on around him as he was watching all these people literally try to steal his company and stab him in the back. Friends that he had had for years. And look, you know, we can make arguments and we can make uh, you know, we can have conversations about why people feel they're entitled to whatever, but at the end of the day, and people, I've lost friends, I've gained more friends because of this, because to me this was basically a binary decision. Am I going to side with the guy who's having his company stolen from, regardless of what anybody thinks of him or his past? I've talked to the guy. He's a genuine guy. He's a real man. You know, he's not, what you see is what you get. Whether you like it or not, you can decide. But everything that you see with Ben Armstrong is what you get. So I decided, you know what? No matter what, I got this guy's back. If he falls down completely through this whole thing, then if there's anything I can do to help him along the way, I'm going to do that. Now, if the reverse is the case and he helps me along the way, cool. But if he doesn't, I don't care. I'm still going to have his back until the end.
It's
And
admirable.
that's the decision that I made.
Yeah. I say a lot of this. I say that's admirable of you for sure. I say that a lot too on my channel when it comes to Ben. I mean, I don't know Ben. He definitely, I'm not on his radar, but I do say all the time that, like, whether you like him, I've been watching him for years, right? And whether you like him or you don't like him, he said some things over the years that I don't like. He said a lot of stuff that I do like. And at the end of the day, I try to tell people, like, look, take FTT, like FTX, like you said. he saved me from getting wrecked on that, because I was watching his videos and he was putting out those warnings, and I was actually considering buying FTT at the time, right? I was going to ape
Yep.
in some,
Yep.
and then I was watching him, and I decided to hold off, and look what happened, right?
30 days before it collapsed, he was the one out there loudly warning anybody who would listen, guys, this thing is going to collapse. Get away right now, because what's about to happen here, you don't want to be party to. And some people never believe. I have a friend, because you can't tell people these kind of things in crypto and they really take it to heart. I have a friend who I told him a few months back, hey, get your money out of Binance.us. He was actually trading Ben, but he held his money to do his bigger investments on Binance.us. And I think he's had $3 or $4 million sitting on Binance.us. I'm like, dude, get your money out. He keeps telling me I'm out of my mind, I'm crazy, and then they cease withdrawals.
No.
And so since then, he'll call me every once in a while. He's like, man, if only somebody would have been wise enough to just let me know that there was a problem there, because now it's a running joke between us that the place that you think is the safe haven for all of this was not even close to the safe haven. And it's a testament to anything can happen in cryptocurrency, anything can happen in this market. And oh god damn, I'm about to take profit on my Bitcoin long. Good thing, by the way, good
Yeah.
thing. But
Damn.
I'm watching the chart on the side over here, and there's a bunch of capital entering the market as we speak right now. Ben just got on a pump, and a bunch of these other tokens are just starting to pump. And like, I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I set a take profit at close to 30,000, and it just keeps like edging and edging and edging up. And the issue is I want to hold it, and I started to look at the charts, and now I think it's going to go to like 31, 35.
Yeah,
And then if you follow Crypto Crossfire,
I do. Yeah.
on Friday we had a Crypto Crossfire where I said Bitcoin was going to 50,000, and it was going to do it before the halving. And and Crypto Keeper, who's wrong as hell, by the way, on this.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Oh my God, Bitcoin just hit 30,000. It just went like a rocket. It just went crazy. Oh my God, $5 billion just entered the market at a moment's notice.
Wonder if
So
it.
I think I just got.
Wonder if any
Oh
news
God,
came out.
I think I just got TP'd.
Oh,
Yeah, Bitcoin's running. I think I might have TP'd on that. But anyway, so the argument was going to go to 50,000, right? And then all of this time, for those of you that are familiar with Ben Armstrong, Ben is really wanting Frankie Candles aboard. Frankie Candles has his own path to walk. Whether he'll ever be aboard with Ben Armstrong Crypto Show or not remains to be seen. But for right now, he's walking his own path. And his path today led him to say that, hey, looking at these charts, we could see 48 to 50,000 Bitcoin like very soon. And, I'm texting Ben, I'm like, haha, even even your boy is saying it now.
it's
So yeah, that's kind of the story. Like I've worked around behind the scenes with them. We've talked about, like, I've been in on some of the sneakier details of what's coming up on Bencoin. And without telling anything, I couldn't be more bullish on a project that I think is going to have a moment where it just absolutely sends. And it's a combination of Ben Armstrong. It's a combination of that wallet that's coming out, which is basically kind of an interface. The wallet's public knowledge, but the ins and outs of the whole thing are just phenomenal. This is going to be, I think, one of the on ramps to crypto adoption, and having a guy who is the on ramp to crypto adoption in many ways I could not be happier that I'm part of it. So that's kind of the summary of the story.
absolutely, yeah. It's I agree with you 100% when it comes to Ben. He himself is an on ramp to, like, there's no bigger name in crypto, right? So
Right.
absolutely. What is I wanted to ask you about the V2 that happened on the 11th?
It's going to happen on October 31st. There'll be a V2 that launches on October 31st. If you have tokens on the original Ben, and to remember, and to go back there, Ben.eth was the original developer and Ben.eth just put this out as I mean, this is a shit coin. Now, this was designed and built, and my take profit did get triggered. So now I got to figure out an entry position. Damn it. Like man, I knew, but I raised it, by the way, not an hour ago. I was like, you know what? This market is about to pump really hard. So I'm going to set it a little bit higher. So I set it like a little bit over 30,000, and it triggered on that last wave. So good times, but man, should have held longer. Anyway, but and oh my god, I'm looking at the chart on the 1 minute. Jesus, a 3 minute on the 3 minute just super spiked. But so Ben.eth created this thing with a it's got a 0.3 liquidity pool tax that you don't really see on the surface. So there's no real tax to it. It's like a liquidity pool fee, which a lot of people are doing now as standard. But that's not enough to run a token when you're trying to build you're trying to build a lot of resources and a lot of systems. And Ben, by the way, just pumped to 5,000. So Ben is mooning as we speak right now. So somebody's putting some capital into Ben too.
It's the stream, brother.
This market is going crazy.
It's the stream.
We're at the start. Yeah, we're the start of that bull run. So we'll be seeing it really set off pretty soon. But so he created basically a shit coin that has no purpose, no use, no function. It's not tied to anything. It doesn't create or generate enough revenue to sustain itself. It was basically just a fun time that, just let's get in on the Pepe pump and let's make something happen. So that's what it was about. And now we've reached this point where it's time to upgrade the system. If we want to upgrade the system and we want to do all of the things that Ben wanted to do, which, by the way, the swap is dead for anybody who was curious about that. At first we were talking about Uniswap, and look, Ben was just mad. He was mad at Uniswap because they were being dicks. So, but there's no swap coming, at least not that we can talk about right now. That's kind of publicly, being prefaced, worked on, prepared, or anything like that. But we started off with that was going to be a thing, and then as we started to build out, well, there's more utility, there's more you have to do if you want to make something like that happen. So then we started to get into the nuts and bolts of making those kind of things happen, and then it was obvious that a V2 was going to be a necessity. So that's what got us on that path to get away from what Ben.eth was doing, and then and not really what he was doing necessarily, but just because the tokenomics did not work, we needed a real developer with a real sense of everything to kind of create a more dynamic something. And once that dynamic something was created, then now we just have the countdown to make sure all the parts fit, and we got 9 days and we're going to launch it. If anybody is looking at that, or if you're holding V1, we'll probably see a pump, because it always a move to a V2 on a decent project will create a little FOMO pump. So we're probably looking at a FOMO pump that'll drop a 0. Yeah. I'm looking at it probably go up 100% from where it is right now, and then after that we'll kind of see. We'll see whether it gains enough steam and traction and stuff like that for the bear market, because we're still in a bear market for altcoins, and then see what happens. So October 31st, make sure that your tokens are in a DeFi wallet, and then there'll be a swap.
So if they're over on like L Bank or Bitmart or something like that, then get it over to kind of a DeFi.
Take them off. Yes, take them off and put them in a DeFi wallet. DeFi wallet will be MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Crypto.com wallet, Coinbase wallet, not the Coinbase exchange, not the Crypto.com exchange, but the DeFi wallets that they provide to you. Any DeFi wallet with an ERC20 algorithm is going to work.
Okay. So the tokenomics are going to stay the same, basically?
Tokenomics will be they are going to be just a little bit different. I think if you go look up tokenomics on let's go into Telegram here, there is a different tokenomic structure. Tokenomics,
the V1 right now has like 100% of the supply in circulation, right? According to CoinMarket.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Ben basically bought the supply and all of that. So there will be. Give me 1 second here with that amount. going to be 1% buy and 3% sell
Okay.
on the new Ben. That should stop a lot of MEV bots from punching in. Supply is going to be 888 billion, 1% buy, 3% sell, and that'll be adjustable as needed. Same percentages in V2 is the same percentage you get from V1. That's going to be just a basic swap over. There will be a swap page that will be connected to the 1-inch API. You know what? So you'll be able to swap your tokens from any country using 1-inch. So it's going to be, you'll have to pay for it. You'll have to pay for the gas, but it's 1-inch gas, so it's not like real. They're kind of a layer 2 where they bundle everything up. So
A lot
new
of
contract will have.
I was gonna say a lot of projects are doing V2s and layer twos and stuff like that now, eh? So it's becoming, but I'm seeing I myself was fighting a lot of FUD on the actually on the V2 for Jasmy. There's so much FUD being spread around about a migration that, I don't know why people FUD migrations. They're not, depending on the project, obviously.
Because there are opportunities because those are the reason that people FUD those is because it's an opportunity to steal.
Yeah.
In order to make a move like that, you have to unlock the liquidity. In order to unlock the liquidity, you need to let it expire. So that means that you are back in charge of all the money and you just take it and run off if you want. And there are a lot of developers who are less than savory in this space. And there are a lot of people in this space that look to do you harm. So there are too many times when a token launches, especially in a meme coin space, by the way, which speaks volumes, but they launch and then they've got a 30-day lock or a 90-day lock. And when they get close to that unlock period, they will tell you that we're migrating to a V2, we're doing something brand new. We're going to add new tokenomics, we're going to add this, we're going to make this thing better, we're going to get there, we're going to do it. And what they're doing is they're latching you on and they're holding you in position so that they can use you as liquidity for their exit plan. So then we get to that spot and then the liquidity unlocks and then they go into their Telegram and they're like, we regret to inform you that one of the developers who shall remain nameless has taken off with all the money. We're looking for solutions right now on how to get it back. Oh my God, we can't believe this happened.
We never saw it.
Yeah, and you saw this happen with like Floki.
Yeah.
If you remember Floki, which I think Floki's sitting at about a 300 million market cap as we sit right now, just outside the top 100 tokens. Floki V1 was a rug pull. Floki V2, when they were launching, so Floki V1 unlocked and they stole the liquidity, and then the guys decided, oh no, we're not letting that shit happen. And then they launched a V2 with liquidity locked for 30 days. And then when that liquidity was locked for 30 days, after that one came up, somebody stole again. So then they got to a V3. And that was really the power. Floki was an example of a community that just stepped in and stepped up in a gigantic way to do something that they believed in. And, Floki ran to, I want to say 1.1 billion market cap in that last run up.
Yeah.
In 2021. So, that was a testament to the community and the power of a community to do that. But that's why people are afraid, is because every time there's always something that happens.
Yeah. Well, with Gala, I sold before the migration, and then I ended up buying back in after the lawsuit stuff started. Might as well buy the bottom, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
Even if you have a bad even if you have a great project that has bad reviews or bad news or bad sentiment at some point, buy the dip. That's really what it comes down to. One of the worst parts about crypto is that we look at things in a month-to-month basis because we as traders or we as investors, we want to be stimulated. We want to do it right now. We're looking for that next Pepe. But the fact is, we would all be better if we had taken wherever we were. I want to say November 10th of 2021. We would all be better off if we took all the money we had then and pulled it completely out of cryptocurrency and sat on it until the beginning of this year. Yeah. And if we had put it into Bitcoin alone, we would already have double the amount of money that we had before. We wouldn't have lost anything. We wouldn't be down 10x on something. We wouldn't be down 90% on something. We wouldn't be down 80%, just continuing to DCA. We would actually be entering into a position on Bitcoin. We would be involved in the pump that's happening right now. We'd be feeling good about our position. And we'd be looking at the altcoin season mark chart and saying, you know what, we're getting close to altcoin season. I'm going to take my money back out of Bitcoin, and now I'm going to buy a bunch of alts in the hopes that they're going to pump. Like that's what we'd be doing, and we'd all be reaping.
Yeah.
But of course, if we were doing that, then the market would change. The dynamic would change because the market makers, they watch us, they see us, they know what we're doing, and they work against us at every step.
100%. People also aren't that patient either. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm sure that you do. I get a lot of my subs. They'll contact me on the side, email, whatever, and they'll ask me like projects like Taraxa, for example. I got in on that one early, and I talk about it on my channel. And I'll get emails almost every time there's like a 3% dip or something. It's going down. What do I do? And it's just like well, what I'm doing is I'm buying more, right? That's like, what do you want me to tell you? In a bear market, it's going to go down. Like,
I True story. I have a Chicago Bears podcast that I do, and I just started it. And I have a partner that I started it with, and I was going to go live, and then I forgot that I hadn't set it up to go live, so I got to wait 24 hours. But I was going to live stream the game today, just to build up some watch hours to get to monetization, to have people and to let people see us, talking about the Bears as the game was going. It was a great game too, new quarterback and all that. So it's a great opportunity, but didn't get to do it. But I did go live on mine, and I said Bitcoin and Chicago Bears, let's go. And I started it, and when I was there 10 minutes, and somebody was like, "Why is the Ben price down today?" I like how do you like it's so crazy to have to explain every dynamic move that happens on every single cryptocurrency every single time. Like I don't know, I have no idea. I don't, I do stare at the charts and I do know when things move, but how do you explain? Because people took profit, you know what I mean? Like you can't. It's so difficult. The guy who, and it's not the guy who bought at 2000 a couple days ago, a month ago. It's not that. That's not that guy is like, hey, why isn't it going up more? It's the guy who bought at 601, who's now wanting to know, now my bag's almost back to 50%. Now I can sell. They're going to sell as soon as they get to the top anyway. Like they're all just looking. Now they're asking me like, why isn't the price going up anymore? I don't know. I mean, go ask Ben. You know what I mean? Go ask Ben.
Ben, yeah. Well, some people are extremely, extremely micro, right? It's almost hour by hour they're watching it, and that's how you can tell who's
Bad
been.
decision.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't even look at my portfolio for 2 or 3 days in a time like this, unless I'm buying something or trading something. What's the point in my spot portfolio, anyways? Like, what's the point in looking at it in a bear market
Right.
constantly, right?
Right.
But I get that all the time. I had a couple of really quick ones too, because on Ben before we moved on, like on Ben coin there. Where do you see it going in the bull run? I'm not asking for a price prediction. I'm just, where do you see it going? Maybe market cap wise, the potential of it and stuff like that.
Don't play this for Ben because he said 50 billion. I would be ecstatic to know that it got to 5 to 10 billion. I would be ecstatic with that as a market cap. And I do have to say, the reason that I would go so high on something is because number one, it's being designed, developed, implemented by the people who are here for crypto mass adoption.
Mhm.
And the premise and the reason for almost all of it at this point is to make it easier for you to buy stuff. For example, to make it easier, you can now you'll be able to pay for a cell phone through the Ben app with your Ben coin every month. So now instead of having to buy uh, your cell phone plan, stuff like that, you just pay it all with Ben coin. You just allot whenever you you want to pay with your crypto wallet. So you've simplified a process for people, and they're paying with their Ben coin. They still have to buy Ben coin, or Ben coin price will still have to go up, and they'll have to sell some, in order to pay a bill. But you're using it as a real function, and that's just the start of little bitty use cases that are going to come along. So once you've developed and created an ecosystem by which through the DApp that will operate seamlessly, you're also going to be able to buy. Now, it will take a few moments because, as you know, it's still rudimentary, the on ramps, because it does require a lot of KYC, et cetera, et cetera. So, and you will have to attach your bank to it, et cetera, et cetera. So, there are still some obstacles to total mass adoption because some people just will never do that. But you download the Ben app. The Ben app will handle a lot of this stuff for you, and then you can just use a credit card and buy Ben. That's it. And that app will also serve as a functioning crypto wallet, and you will not have to do any, like, you're done. Like that's it. You download Ben app uh, from an app store, then you will, again, you'll have to KYC, but then right after you do all of that, or attach your bank anyway, so that you are KYC'd for on and off roading of money. But then you're going to go in with a credit card, and then you're just going to buy Ben, and now you're a Ben holder, and that's it. That's as simplified as crypto gets, and there are not many places that do that, or the ones that do it are not in the public lexicon yet.
Yeah.
And Ben is in the public lexicon, so this gives him an edge, gives them a potential impetus going into it. And then, of course, all the drama that he brings with him constantly, good, bad, or indifferent. Controversy creates cash is basically, I think it's Eric Bischoff, a wrestler guy, one time. Controversy creates cash, and that's a great point right there. It doesn't matter whether you love me or you hate me. It matters, are you talking about me?
Yeah. For the record, by the way, before Ben, we'll say, left the other channel, swear to God, man, like, I watched him for years, and whenever I turned on for his morning show, if it was somebody else standing there besides Frankie or Ben, it was always immediately, what else is on, right? I couldn't watch it otherwise. So I haven't watched a single thing since he left, right? Because
Yeah.
they're not entertaining guys. I'm sorry, I don't know them, but I've never thought that they were entertaining, even when Ben was there. So,
Well, so one of the things that I think, if you interviewed Ben, I think one of the things that he would tell you, and I don't know if he said this, I feel like he said this somewhere, was, what he realized is the asset to what was going on is him. He's the entertainer. The asset to my channel is not my production value. It's not anything. It's me. If people like me, then they will come. And Ben now is just sitting at a desk next to a window, without huge lighting, without the studio, without all of the things that he originally thought were so important, which they are still important, by the way. For long-term value, there are going to be some needs for for some of the Ben stuff that's coming soon. There is a need for studios, but for right now, I can plug in from home. AJ, for the first year that he worked for Ben, he worked from AJ lived in Maryland at first, so he was remote accessed. I remote access, Keeper remote accesses. You know what I mean? Like Sam, Crypto Lifer, he remote accesses. So we can do stuff from a distance, but AJ, J Chains, and Ben, they're making a studio so that they've got the resources to make some true content that will be next level, evergreen, that people will be watching for a long period of time.
I've actually been talking with AJ too about trying to get him on the show as well. He said he needed a couple months to get some things in order, but I reached out to Ben, but he's probably too busy to read all of his his inboxes and stuff like that. So hopefully one day
everybody wants a piece of here. I'll put it this way. You've probably seen, and you've probably noticed that probably more than almost anybody out here, I talk to Ben a lot. Mm-hmm. And I'm more in tune and in with what's going on than probably almost anybody outside of J Chains and AJ. and he's never been on my channel.
Yeah, I know.
I,
100%.
I never ask because, you know, one of the things that one of the things that I've never like I don't, we're all chasing clout in some sort of way, and that's what he always calls it. We're always chasing that clout. We're always looking for that next thing that will, you know, send our channel to the next stratosphere and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And I have no problem with Crypto Crossfire. I love it. I think it's the best show on crypto, and I think it's the best show on in the crypto sphere already. Next, Crypto Gems, not even close.
yeah,
The top crypto gem, not even close. Crypto Crossfire, that is an amazing show that I think will resonate with people going forward when it becomes more like we're, you know, when Crypto Crossfire becomes something bigger, and it will become something bigger.
yeah,
When it becomes something bigger, it's going to be fascinating. Imagine the interest that people are going to have in the bull run of people debating these serious topics and having somebody kick back and you know, take two sides and then have a moderator in the middle talking about it and you know, coming to a head here, and then having a judge, a guest celebrity judge or something like that, who's deciding who wins this argument. And then you get some really big names. I'm not a big name, but you know, maybe if I continue to do what I'm doing, maybe I'll find that path where I am a big name to the point that people want me on that show all the time. I mean, right now, you know, we're doing it on Friday.
sorry to cut you off. I think he's going to cut us off in a couple of seconds. But so I wanted to say real quick,